I took this insane space photo with a telescope that fits in my hand. What if I told you this image came from this tiny telescope? This is the brand new Dwarf Mini. But let's be real, your first night is going to look more like this. I am going to walk you through my entire first session, showing you every single mistake I made so you can skip the failure and get mind-blowing images on your very first try. First step is to find a kind of like a level area to put the telescope on a steady tripod. Be sure to use the leveler and be as precise as possible. I am using a Kent Faith tripod. Information in the description. The Dwarf telescope can work with or without equatorial mode. What is rough polar alignment? Rough alignment still helps reduce drift during longer exposures. Try to find Polaris, ideally seeing it with your eyes, and point the telescope and the tripod in that direction. That is rough polar alignment. I am able to see Polaris, so I'm just pointing the telescope there. Be sure that the logo of the telescope is facing south. Okay, there's the Dwarf Mini. Let's connect, and I am just going to use whatever I have on battery tonight. It's fully charged. It's supposed to be about 4 hours. Now the next step, it's going to be here just to go live, and I need to go here into deep sky. Okay, so the equatorial mode is on those 3 dots there. Please focus your dwarf device first. Focusing the telescope is a crucial step. Be sure that the stars look like tiny little dots. I changed the shutter speed to 13 seconds so I can have a better view of the screen and what I'm seeing on the stars, and click on AF autofocus. Autofocusing will take a few seconds. Just wait for it and be sure that the stars look good and rounded. On my first attempt, the alignment failed because I made a mistake, and it's all related to the arm, the lens arm, that needs to be in the right position. The first try I have the lens pointing to Polaris, but then I realized that the lens, the arm, needs to be more up, as I have it right now. And also try to avoid any obstructions like trees or buildings or walls, as it's not going to work. So I went ahead and started the process again. If you have to start the EQ mode again, it's going to ask you to focus the stars, but if that has been done properly, just go ahead and skip that step and continue with the equatorial mode. I need to go back to the EQ mode because I already did the focusing. Let me just go ahead and continue here, EQ mode, and it's going to tell me everything is ready. Okay, it's telling me my latitude. The telescope is pointing and moving down towards the north, and the logo of the telescope is facing the south. So now the process of aligning the telescope with Polaris started. Let it finish. It can take a few seconds. It may take 2 or 3 minutes. The alignment started again. This time was quicker, which tells me it was working, and immediately got me the first calculation to fine-tune the device. Now it's time to fine-tune your device and just follow the instructions. This case is telling me to move 18 degrees down, and also it can tell you to rotate to the left or the right. Let's see. Lower 18 and 3. So that's not bad at all. Okay, so we're in the right direction. Let me just go ahead here, and 18 should be like a lot. And then 3 that way. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Since I started the process, well, 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And look at that, lucky me. Oh my God. That is amazing. I got perfect alignment. Excellent, not perfect. Okay. Now that it's aligned, don't touch the telescope, don't move it, don't do anything. Just leave it in that position. Now it's time for the fun part, to just pick a target and start photographing. Okay, so now I'm just going to the Atlas. Well, let's just do our favorite, the Andromeda Galaxy. The Andromeda Galaxy is always a great sky object to start. It's a big galaxy, it's very bright. And there you can see the field of view for the Andromeda Galaxy, which is a huge galaxy. So it's a little bit tight there, as you can see, and I'm going to be cutting part of it, or if I move it a little bit up or to the sides, I also will be cutting part of the little Andromeda's companion. So I think in this case, the best thing for me to do will be just to do a mosaic, and that way I can capture the entire galaxy and also the little galaxy Andromeda's companion. Next step is framing. But as you can see, the galaxy, it's way bigger for the field of view. So I am going to do a mosaic, which is going to be a 4-panel imaging session. And then all of those images are going to be stitched together and create the final image, the Andromeda Galaxy. Ready to start, and now it's going to calibrate and try to find the target and just let the calibration finish. This can be a few seconds, maybe a minute, sometimes less. This telescope is really quick with searching for it. This telescope is very fast and precise, and normally it puts the target right in the center, as you can see, right on. Now it's time for the parameters, shutter speed, the gain, how many images we want. This telescope has a setting that it's called auto parameters, which means that it's going to have an automatic shutter speed of 15 seconds. But if you want to do more than 15 seconds, you need to disable it. I don't want auto parameters. Let's just do shutter 30, gain 60. This is a very bright galaxy. Shutter speed 30 is a good starting point. Gain 60, depending on your sky conditions, you may even have to lower that. And remember, overexposed images are not good. So I'm going to use shutter speed 30, gain 60. For the rest of the settings, I am going to do subframe format fits. The subframe format, very technical word. Well, all it is the format that the final image is going to come out as a JPEG or FITS or PNG. The subframe format, I like to pick FITS because I like to post-process the images and I want to have that option. But if you're just going to have images without post-processing, then JPEG is fine. For the preview, I like to always have the stacked so I can see the process, how it starts to transform. So that is the most exciting one. So I highly recommend stack. Dark frames is a process that needs to be done ideally during the day, so you can get these dark frames according to the different settings on gain and shutter speed. I won't be showing this right now, but you can watch some of my other videos in the Dwarf Academy, and it's pretty much the same for Dwarf 3 and Dwarf Mini. But the dark frames have to match the exact number of the shutter speed and the gain. Dark frame 3060. Okay, so now it's ready to start, and it's going to start doing the calculations. And remember, it's going to take 4 different panels, 4 different images of different sections of the galaxy. It requires a lot of precision for such a little telescope. The session is estimated to finish in 1 hour and 34 minutes, and here are the different panels. And I was doing a live stream on YouTube, and it was absolutely perfect with great results. This is the first time I see a mosaic image on Stellar Studio, and there you see all the panels together. And now I'm going to see the first result and see how it stitches all the images together, and that is amazing for a tiny little telescope. There you see the original image on the 4 panels and the final result. Hi, dear membership program friends. I finally was able to figure out the best way to do all of these PDF documents and find different formats so they are easy to read. And I already uploaded several more on the cloud where I post these links. So just go ahead. This is like a big dump of files. And just stay tuned, because every video that I do as a tutorial for the smart telescope settings, Star Trek at Nomad, for Optolong filters. I have Optolong filters. All of this is going to be available in PDF and much more information. Members, be sure that you check your perk section. That's where these links are, okay? If you missed the video, it's okay, but you need to go to the perks section in the membership program, and there you're going to find all the links. Thanks for your support, and stay tuned for much more videos coming of your favorite Astro-Nerd.